Hello everyone, for this video I'm going to quote 9 things from a hater's video and reply to it. Quote number 1. What Destiny doesn't realize, they're repeating hate extremist group history. By being hate extremist group history. By being harshly defensive. By focusing on a group that opposes them and allowing lynching and retaliation by the mere absurdity of challenging the material, lashing out for the sake of their transparently fragile construct, which supports their mission. We don't take bullshit. When there are people who want to argue about things already clear and true, we don't spend time on that. If we would argue with every single opinion out there, we could do this all day long. We do answer people's questions, but not when they desperately want to hold on to their beliefs or opinions. Like, we're not going to debate a Christian who tries to convert us over and over and over and over again. And it kind of reminds me of the Jehovah's Witnesses, who sometimes come at my door. And I try to talk to them, asking them questions and explaining what I see in their religion, but they don't reply on it. Like, they don't even hear me. They will just keep telling about their belief, keep saying things from the Bible, quoting the Bible, like they don't even hear what you're saying. And I know some haters are now going to think, yeah, that's what you Destonians do as well, but we don't. We have changed a lot because we are able to listen and to consider another way. And that's why I changed a lot during my life and often left old opinions behind of old ways of myself that I stopped because I saw it was abusive. Yet that doesn't mean that we will actually keep listening to people who spread their beliefs about our group and that we will give them room. We decided now to reply with general anti-hate videos because then we can present answers more globally and not scattered all over the YouTube in comment space sections. There's not even 1% of defensiveness within me when I make these videos. By us presenting these anti-hate videos and explaining in general on our own channels, we can reach people who may be misled by the haters' videos, which already has happened a couple of times. So questions are not bad. You need to question, but when it comes down to a continuous defense of a personal opinion or belief, then why should we keep arguing with that? That's not what we're here to do. Quote number 2. They only have faith in numbers. I've noticed they stand as one voice because each being is too weakly dependent on the voice and direction of Destiny. That's not true. With or without Destiny, my goal within this world remains the same: ending abuse, bringing equality here. And with or without the group, I would still be as I am now and change myself to stop abusive patterns. I even also started this before Destiny on my own. But I'm very grateful for Destiny because they speed up things and realizations a lot for me. The videos and the documents and how they explain things and how people responded to me and helped me with questions I had, or just in general sharing what they found. Things I might otherwise have never dared or simply be stuck in it. Like, I used to be more shy and fearful, and I learned to push myself through that. And now I talk much easier to people, and in result people also talk much easier to me. Also, I realized lots of things about how my mind works, and actually started to face myself. Before, I never did that, because, I did it in a way, but not fully. Because I saw my programmed mind as who I was and, like, I couldn't be anything else. And I'm talking about the feelings I had or the thoughts. I blindly followed many of them, many times. I remember laying in my bed frustrated with myself because I saw my thoughts and found it so fake how I was whelming in self-pity at the same time, and I was like seeing that but still participating in it, and I didn't see another way. I was like, my thoughts are who I am. That's what I thought, that I couldn't be anything else. And we don't have faith in numbers. Not faith. That's not part of it. Use your common sense. Numbers matter in this world. The bigger the group, the bigger your voice. Thus we don't have faith in it. We realize this because this is how our system works. It's a truth. And the more we grow, the faster we can actually begin to change things. And the more people will have an impact. through the internet, but also through our everyday life, being in contact with others and simply sharing yourself, Simply things like what you saw on the news and then beginning to talk about the money system, and this gets people to think. That's what I do in my own personal life. Or for example about makeup and insecurity, etc. So many things how you can reach others while simply expressing yourself in common sense and how you live and what you've realized. This is what I also learned to do, because before I was afraid of opening up and being different, or being afraid what people would think or ridicule me, but now I speak out about these things to people because I learned to push through my fears. Quote number 3, which is one of the reasons why members quote lectures, interviews, and phrases so often, than putting it into their own words. When I say cool quotes, I quote it or I repeat it, I don't care. Only people with ego problems have problems with that in some way, because it is not special enough to repeat another's words. But I don't care. If it's true, and if I like a quote and it's the way it is, I will repeat it. And we always repeat something. That's how language works. That's why you hold certain beliefs or opinions based on your culture. So many cultural things we repeat blindly. And to add to that, most things I do place in my own words. Because when I write, I keep writing. I rarely stop. Making this video and the text is very easy to do because I know what to say, because it's what I live, and so I don't have to go and search for info. Quote number 4. I still see ego, I still see pride, many self-indulgent points to work with destiny, so many fleeting emotions. It's best to be humble and considerate. You'll appear wiser, and it doesn't mean you have to be meek. Always check if what you see is not simply a belief you have about others, because many times in my life I thought things about others which were not true. Like I really saw some people disliking me, but when it came down to it, they actually really liked me. But I simply created that belief about them in my own mind based on my insecurities. So first, check yourself for that. And to add to this, we are all people in our individual process as well. We are not superhumans. We are Destonians because we value life and learn to direct ourselves instead of simply doing what we are programmed to do, and because we stand together to bring forth another world. We are all in process of changing ourselves. So ego may sometimes come up, for example, and part of our process is to stop this when we notice it. It doesn't mean that because you think it's sometimes that it is actually true. Every one of us have to check this for themselves. Quote number 5. Anyone against the extremist movement of your ideal utopia of imposed justice should be purged, meaning anyone whom don't live up to the standards of an ideal being shall be spiritually slaughtered. This is not true. People who stand with our group are the people who want to truly change this system and work on themselves and be self-honest. If someone does not want that, they have no place in our group, because that's what our group is about. Like a meat eater is not going to be part of a vegetarian group, or a racist is not going to be part of an anti-racism group. The first priority is on bringing people together who will actually do things to change the system, starting with themselves. And that's what we do right now. Quote number 6. So although we should be proactive in changing our world, we don't want to spend our every breath obsessed with a cause. Kinda defeats the purpose of being here and actually enjoying life when you're psychoanalyzing yourself to infinity. So you won't be living in the mind, but you are through a focused fixation while you're limiting yourself to any growth to new ideas other than what's being fed to you by destiny, because you can't listen to yourself based on how you were or are. We don't obsess with the cause. The process of self-honesty is simply part of who we are in our everyday life, a self-direction compared to blindly following. If you want to change the world, start with yourself. And no, that's not obsession. This is living your life, else you can call everything an obsession. Being here means directing yourself, which requires self-honesty. And that's how you also enjoy life, to truly learn to enjoy life, oftentimes. And stopping fears and limitations as well. It's not psychoanalyzing to infinity, and we require some true introspection in this world. We really need that, because we often just repeat shit blindly. And maybe you rather walk around doing things blindly as how you're programmed. If that's what makes you feel good and you call it enjoying life, then that's pretty fucked up. then enjoying life consists of robotic repentance and allowing abuse. Maybe it's fun for you, but not for the outflow of this existence. It's like people who, for example, have lots of money and do lots of fun things with it and buy lots of stuff and say they love living life, not realizing how they are supporting an abusive system, only caring for themselves, and in many cases buy products tested on animals or made by sweatshop workers. And also more and more people get depressed these days. I often was before finding out the Destiny forums, because I didn't know how to direct myself and gave my thoughts the upper hand constantly. If we would limit our growth to new ideas, we would never change and always do the same, and we don't. We remain with things that work and are necessary, and we change to things that we find also work or work better. Same in our own life. If we find out patterns which are limiting or abusive, we stop them. We also got part of Destiny because we were able to listen to new ideas. That we were able to listen to a girl who breathes funny on YouTube talking as if she has multiple personalities. We were able to hear these new sharings and ideas and actually consider what was being shared and consider another way of being.